Ready?
Ready.
Steady.
It's the sixth installment of the high-octane action series Fast and the Furious, and once again, Hollywood muscle man Vin Diesel takes on the character of hard-talking street racer and ex-con Dominic Toretto.
Just like old times.
It's a silver screen series that highlighted Diesel's strength in playing the tough guy role. And after the original raked in a cool $40 million at the box office in its first weekend in 2001, the Fast and the Furious franchise sees Vin Diesel step firmly into the limelight to become one of Tinseltown's A-listers. Just 6 years earlier, the former bouncer and struggling actor created this cinematic short about the trials of an aspiring actor.
I'm sitting down eating with my girl, and some guy walks in, a real pretty boy, and sits down at the table behind me, right? I mean, come on, you don't, what's this guy, kidding me or what?
A film he wrote, produced, financed, directed, and starred in. Yet this small-time production would catch the eye of big-time producer-director Steven Spielberg. Impressed, Spielberg created the role of Private Carpazzo in his epic Saving Private Ryan, specifically for Diesel.
No, we can't take the kids.
Afterwards, triggering a slew of other roles for the muscle man, starring alongside a young Ben Affleck in Boiler Room.
Nice job, Mr. Clean.
Flexing his sci-fi muscles as the former mercenary Richard B. Riddick in Pitch Black.
What is it now?
Like I said, believe me, you gotta worry about it.
And returning to his action roots as a rebellious extreme sport athlete and reluctant spy in Triple X. This week on Talk Asia, we're in Seoul to catch up with Vin Diesel and find out who he really is. Who are you at home?
To my mom, I'm probably Michael Corleone.
Vin Diesel, welcome to Talk Asia.
Hello, Juanita.
Thank you so much for spending a few minutes of your time. You have a very busy schedule. Congratulations on Fast and Furious 6.
Thank you.
An extremely successful franchise, raking in what I understand over $1 billion.
It should be over $2 billion by the end of the summer.
What do you think has contributed to the success of the Fast and the Furious franchise?
First of all, I look at the 6 films as 2 trilogies. So the first trilogy, the first 3, were made in the traditional Hollywood sense. And by that I mean when a film was successful and they wanted to sequelize it and they didn't have a story to follow, they would more often than not just rely on the brand and not really think about how the 2 films would connect to one another. And now, since Fast and Furious and since the numbers and the success really took off, the studio's been very conscious and mindful and prideful even about the ability to continue the story.
You've taken ownership over this franchise as well, producing these movies. What have you learned about the process and of dealing with studios in Hollywood?
Well, before I get into what I learned, the whole idea of being a producer was to be more accountable for the overall picture. It was never good enough for me as an actor to look at a finished picture and say, how was I in it? And if I'm good in it, that's all I care about. Maybe because of the fact that I started in this business as a director. So after 20 years of licking stamps and sending out manila folders with my headshots and well-articulated cover letters, pleading somebody to give me a shot, I kicked off into directing a short film that went to Cannes and a feature that went to dramatic competition in Sundance. My point is, being a producer allowed me to be more accountable for the overall picture. When you see Fast and Furious 6, you see that played out in its fullest, in the sense that all of our characters shine so well, that's a testament to wanting everyone in the cast to shine, wanting the director to be the best that he... I like walking away from a film and everyone in the film being applauded for doing the best work.
Did you ever want to throw in the towel when you were auditioning, trying so hard to break this very difficult and hard barrier?
When I was a teenager, when I was a young teenager, I used to say, if I'm not a star by the time I get out of high school, I'm just gonna go to college and get a vocational job. Mm. And I said, if I'm not a star by the time I'm 21, I will come up with another plan. And then I said, if I'm not a star by the time I'm 25, I'm not gonna be like everybody around me.
Yeah.
Who were incredible actors, the best actors I had ever seen. But none of them made a living. And they were just local heroes. Mm.
Tell me about this one conversation you had with Harrison Ford.
I was doing extra work in New York City. And when I did extra work, I would sign in and then I would hide because I didn't want the director to pick me for anything. Because I felt like if they know I'm an extra, they'll never hire me for a real role. Mm. But one time I did it because Harrison Ford was there. And at a young age, I felt real strong about just the opportunity to talk to somebody. I was a New York hustler. Yeah. So I'm at the craft service table, and he's at the craft service table. And I couldn't play it cool. I had to just ask. I just wanted to know what the secret was. I had known at that time that I was going to be a big movie star.
You knew back then?
And so many people say that they knew, and you never know it. I knew it more than a human could know it. Mm. I used to say, I don't know if I'll ever have the white picket fence. I don't know if I'll ever get married. I love women too much. But I know as sure as I'm breathing, I'll be the biggest movie star in the world. I don't know what gave me that cause, because I wasn't doing too well. I mean, I started acting at 7. I should have popped off a lot earlier, but I can't stress enough. I mean, if there's anything you get from this, please know that there wasn't a hair of doubt. It was the weirdest thing. And even my friends would think I was crazy when I said it. One Saturday morning, I get a call from my agent, and she says, "You're not gonna believe this, but Steven Spielberg saw your short film."